What if I told you that in just 3 minutes a day, you could feel 30 years younger? If you're watching this, chances are you've had those days where your body doesn't quite move like it used to. Your knees ache, your balance is off, and tasks that used to be simple, like climbing stairs or carrying groceries, are starting to feel more difficult. You're definitely not alone. But imagine, even at 84, feeling like you're 50 again just by making a few simple changes that take almost no time at all. In this video, I'm going to share 5 easy, yet powerful daily practices that can genuinely help reverse how your body feels. These aren't quick fixes or complex routines. Each one takes about 3 minutes or less, and they've helped countless people, just like you, regain strength, energy, and confidence. Let's be clear, this isn't a magic solution. But if you stick with these 5 habits, you'll likely start to notice changes you might have thought were impossible at your age. Maybe it's waking up with less stiffness, walking longer without getting winded, or just feeling more in control of your body, something many people start to lose as they age. The reality is, staying young isn't about trying to recapture lost youth. It's about maintaining function, energy, and joy in the years you have left. And here's the best part. You don't need a gym, fancy supplements, or a personal trainer. All it takes is commitment, consistency, and 3 minutes a day. Stick with me until the end, because each step builds on the last, and by the 5th one, you might realize that getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. In fact, you might feel better than you did 20 years ago. Let's dive in. Number 1, morning joint activation. One of the main reasons older adults feel stiff in the morning isn't due to weak muscles, but because their joints haven't been properly woken up. After hours of stillness overnight, the fluid around your joints thickens a bit, kind of like syrup on a cold morning. So, when you get out of bed without gently moving your body first, it's no wonder your knees creak or your back feels tight. The solution is a simple 3-minute morning movement routine that focuses on your major joints, especially your hips, knees, ankles, and shoulders. No fancy equipment or yoga mats needed. Just sit on the edge of your bed and slowly rotate your ankles 10 times in each direction, followed by your knees. Then gently twist your torso side to side. Finish with some shoulder rolls and neck turns. This helps circulate fluid around your joints, easing that stiff, creaky feeling and letting your joints move smoothly. It might seem like a small thing, but this gentle routine can make a big difference. It's the difference between shuffling out of bed and stepping into your day with confidence. There's also an added bonus that many people don't realize. These movements activate your nervous system, helping with coordination, balance, and even mood. For people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, getting your brain and body in sync after rest is key for mental clarity and reducing that morning fog. I knew an 81-year-old man named Edward who started his day with this routine. Before he began, he needed help just to get out of bed. After 2 weeks, he wasn't just getting up on his own. He was cooking breakfast for his wife again. That's the power of these 3 mindful minutes. The goal isn't to touch your toes, it's to feel steady on your feet, reducing the risk of falls and joint strain. Every fall you prevent is another year of independence kept. So if you've been skipping your morning movements because they sound tiring or you think you're too old, remember this. Your body is a tool. It doesn't break from use, it breaks from neglect. A few minutes of motion is like oil for the engine. It keeps everything running smoothly. Number 2, deep breathing reset. What many people don't realize is that energy doesn't just come from food or sleep, it comes from oxygen. How you breathe in the first few minutes after waking up can either recharge your energy or drain it before your day even begins. Shallow breathing, which many of us do without thinking, signals to the body that it's under stress, even when we're not actually stressed. That's why starting your day with a simple, deep breathing exercise can completely change how you feel. Just 3 minutes of slow, mindful breathing, ideally with your eyes closed, feet flat on the floor, and hands resting on your belly, can lower cortisol, regulate your heart rate, and calm your nervous system. It centers you, setting a positive tone before the busy day ahead. I knew a woman named Linda, 77, who used to wake up every morning with her heart racing. Her doctor ran tests, but everything came back normal. It wasn't her heart, it was anxiety. When she began doing this 3-minute breathing reset each morning, she told me her mornings felt totally different. Instead of feeling like she was scrambling to keep up, she felt like she was in control, leading the day. That's a powerful shift. The key here is not to force anything. Don't try to hold your breath or follow any rigid pattern. Simply breathe in slowly through your nose, then out even slower through your mouth. Let each exhale be a gentle release. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that says you're safe, calm, and in control. For older adults, this practice is especially important. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to stress hormones. Even a phone call, a memory, or a moment of silence can trigger a surge of adrenaline. But with a breathing practice, you create a space between stimulus and reaction. You teach your body that it doesn't need to respond to everything immediately. That control, that calm, that's where true strength lies. So don't overlook this because it seems too simple. Sometimes the easiest habits are the most powerful. While you may not notice huge changes on day 1, I promise that by day 5, your mornings may feel less like a frantic race and more like a steady rhythm. And over time, that rhythm becomes your strength. Number 3, leg activation routine. There's something almost magical about waking up your legs the right way. Most people rush from bed to the kitchen without taking a moment to stretch or move. But here's the thing. Your legs are like the roots of a tree. If they're stiff, tight, or weak, everything above them feels off balance. I've seen this again and again. People struggle with balance, posture, or low energy, and it all traces back to how they treat their legs in those first few minutes of the day. Take Walter, a 64-year-old man who shared his story with me. He used to feel like his legs were heavy weights when he got out of bed. He blamed it on age, arthritis, even his old shoes. But then he started a simple 3-minute leg activation routine every morning. It wasn't complicated, just a mix of seated marches, gentle toe raises, and slow standing calf lifts while holding onto a chair. Within a few weeks, his balance improved, and he said his legs actually felt like they wanted to move again. That kind of transformation doesn't come from fancy gadgets or supplements. It comes from consistency. This routine doesn't have to be intense or painful. In fact, if it is, you're probably doing it wrong. What you want is control and connection. Focus on feeling your feet make contact with the ground. Sense your calves flexing and let your thighs engage just enough to say, "Hey, I still need you today." That communication between your brain and legs is essential. It's like flipping a switch, and the sooner you flip it, the better your day will feel. Why does this work so well? Because blood flow equals energy. The moment your leg muscles engage, they draw fresh blood through your lower body, boosting strength, supporting joint health, improving nerve function, and enhancing circulation to your feet. For older adults concerned about swelling, numbness, or foot pain, this simple habit can make a world of difference. It sets the tone, telling your body, we're up, we're grounded, and we're ready to go. People often ask me what the best exercise is for aging legs, and my answer is always the same, the one you'll actually do. You don't need gym equipment, loud music, or a personal trainer. All you need is consistency and just 3 minutes a day. A few mindful movements each morning can strengthen muscles, improve balance, and, most importantly, prevent the slow decline that sneaks up when we aren't paying attention. Strong legs aren't about vanity. They're about freedom. The freedom to walk where you want, carry your own groceries, and get up from a chair without struggling, all while maintaining your dignity. So if you haven't given your legs a wake-up call lately, maybe tomorrow morning is the time to start. You don't need a perfect routine, just 3 minutes every day. You'll be amazed at how much power is waiting in those steps. Number 4, anti-inflammatory breakfast choice. One of the biggest hidden culprits behind aging legs is inflammation. It doesn't announce itself with loud signals. It doesn't always cause immediate pain, but it works quietly in the background, stiffening joints, weakening muscles, and draining energy from your steps. What might surprise you is that much of that inflammation starts not in your knees or hips, but right on your plate, especially at breakfast. Your morning meal sets the tone for the rest of the day. If it includes processed sugars, refined carbs, or inflammatory oils, you're essentially telling your body, get ready for a sluggish, achy day. But here's the good news. Just changing one part of your breakfast can have a big impact. That's where anti-inflammatory foods like wild blueberries come in. These little berries might seem simple, but they're packed with powerful compounds that reduce oxidative stress and calm inflammation, particularly in the lower joints. I remember a woman named Elaine, 77, who still walked every morning, but her knees would swell up by the evening. She thought it was just age catching up to her, but when we looked at her meals, we found she was starting her day with sweetened yogurt and white toast. She swapped those for a bowl of oats topped with wild blueberries, walnuts, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Within weeks, she was able to walk twice as far without feeling that deep ache in her legs. It wasn't magic, it was science and a shift in how she nourished her body. The best part? Anti-inflammatory foods like these are easy to find. You can grab frozen wild blueberries at most grocery stores. They don't need to be fancy or organic. What matters most is consistency. When you fuel your body with the right nutrients to fight inflammation, it responds with strength. This shows up not just in how you feel, but in how you move, how you stand, and how quickly you recover after a long day on your feet. It's not just blueberries. Other potent options include turmeric, chia seeds, and dark leafy greens, ingredients that can easily be added to breakfast in under a minute. Some people prefer smoothies, others enjoy a warm bowl. The method doesn't matter nearly as much as the habit, because over time, these small morning changes lay the foundation for strong, flexible, and dependable legs. Number 5. Omega-rich cold water fish. Nature has a remarkable way of providing what we need if we know where to look. When it comes to keeping your legs strong, stable, and ready to move, the ocean holds one of the best-kept secrets: cold water fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These fish aren't just food. They're like medicine for your muscles, joints, and circulation, especially as we age. One of the main reasons many older adults start to feel heaviness or weakness in their legs isn't just due to muscle loss, but because of inflammation in the blood vessels. When circulation slows down, your legs, being the furthest from your heart, are often the first to feel it. The omega-3 fatty acids found in cold water fish help relax blood vessels and reduce inflammation, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to flow to your lower limbs. I once knew an 82-year-old man named Walter. He told me that every time he climbed stairs, it felt like his legs were made of sandbags. He wasn't overweight, and he didn't have arthritis, but his doctor diagnosed sluggish circulation. When Walter started eating salmon twice a week, lightly grilled and paired with vegetables, he didn't expect much. But 2 months later, he called me and said something that stuck with me. My legs don't argue with me anymore. They cooperate. It wasn't just the fish. It was the steady supply of omega-3s helping calm the inflammation in his blood vessels and support muscle recovery. For those who don't eat fish, there's still a way to get those benefits. Omega-3 supplements, especially those made from algae oil, are a great alternative. What matters most is consistency and quality. Even sardines, those small, affordable fish packed in tins, can work wonders when included regularly. And don't forget, what you leave out matters too. Walter also cut back on red meat and processed deli meats, which can thicken the blood and restrict circulation. It's not just about adding the good, it's about reducing the bad. Final thoughts. So, what stood out to you most today? Was it the way beets can boost circulation, or how a few spoonfuls of chia seeds can improve joint strength and energy? Maybe it was discovering how turmeric helps fight silent inflammation. Whatever it was, remember this: small, consistent actions can lead to big changes. Even in your 70s and 80s, you don't have to completely overhaul your life. No need for expensive supplements or complicated routines. Just a few minutes a day with the right foods can make your legs feel stronger, more stable, and more vibrant. It's never about trying to turn back the clock. It's about honoring your body and giving it what it needs to keep moving forward. Because the truth is, age doesn't define your strength. Your habits do. And when you start to feel more confident in your steps, everything changes. You're more likely to take a walk outside, stand taller, and feel steady when you rise from a chair. That sense of independence, of not having to worry about balance or discomfort with every move, is priceless. It's not just about physical strength, it's about emotional freedom. Here's my challenge to you. Choose one of the foods we discussed today and incorporate it into your routine, no matter how small, and see what happens over the next few weeks. Don't just take my word for it. Experience it for yourself. And when you do, come back and let us know. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it. Your thoughts mean a lot to us and motivate us to keep going. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating content that inspires and informs. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.